recording, testing levels out. I think this is all good, man. I think this is all money in the bank.
Your co-host couldn't make it?
There's no co-hosts.
Oh, Jay Letts is just a recurring.
So next thing, well, I mean, yeah, you're right. He is the co-host. He wasn't gonna be a part of this. Next, all I gotta do now, boom, camera on, audio's on, screen's on. We're rolling live, Taylor. This is it. So this is the unstructured one-on-one podcast with the one and only West Coast bad boy, Taylor Empey. Taylor, what's going on, man?
Oh, not too much. Just had another beautiful day here in sunny Southern California.
Where are you right now?
This morning.
Where are you right now?
I'm in my apartment.
Which is where?
It is just a little south of downtown LA, right by USC's campus.
Okay. University of Southern.
It's called University Park.
Okay.
It's a shitty neighborhood.
All right. And how long you been there?
Moved in here August 14th, so like what? Just about 3 months now.
Okay. So this is my boy Taylor. Went from Idaho out to California. It's a big deal. They're all coming the other way right now. All the Californians are moving to Boise. What are you doing?
I'm going to grad school at USC. I'm getting a master's in business.
Okay. Speaking of scams, I got a scam in the mail I want to show you about, Mr. Business School here. This is international business stuff I want to show you. Let's get the camera on that. You ever heard of such a thing where this is like the third-ish time, maybe fourth time that I get from China just something mailed to me, and I'll show you what it is. Can you see that?
Yeah, it's like a little bracelet thing.
It's a hair tie.
Okay.
So this is about the fourth or fifth hair tie that I've received from China, and my old roommate Derek said, "Oh yeah, that's a scam. It's called skimming." Have you heard of this?
No.
Okay. So in my mind, so I'm a financial controller. I was thinking through how can you benefit from sending out a bunch of cheap junk from China, right? So my first thought went to cooking the books, right? So let's say you have a bunch of, like on your finances, you show a bunch of sales for really expensive bracelets, and then these deliveries match that. And so now all you have to do is fill in where's the missing money. So there's your chance to embezzle a bunch of drug money or gun money or something. Not at all even that difficult. That's not even what they're doing. Way simpler than that. They are just giving themselves a confirmed purchase on Amazon so that they can leave their own review. So for the cost of like whatever, a couple pennies, they can do a confirmed customer purchase and leave their own review. So they've done the math and they've decided that it's more valuable to spend money just sending stuff out and lying about it than it is to actually pay for real advertising at this point.
Yeah, that's really smart.
It's also illegal, but it's like, what are you gonna?
How is it illegal?
Well, I mean, you're I guess lying and misrepresenting, real purchases, and
it's certainly unethical. I guess it's probably.
It is actually illegal in China, is what I've read. But everything is in, who am I gonna call? The FBI? What am I gonna do about it?
They don't give a shit.
It's like, what am I supposed to do? So they just keep sending them. Yeah. So there's your next business idea. Is you run an online review firm or something.
Like 90 of the 100 kids in my program are from China, so I've got hookups over there. I'll develop some relationships.
One thing leads to another, man.
Yeah, that's really why I came to this program. I told my parents it was, because I wanted to further my career, but I just want to set up relationships with Chinese scammers. That's what I'm all about, dude. That's the end game.
Yeah, man. Well, freeform, what do you want to talk about, man?
So what's the typical format of your podcast, right? You go somewhere and like tailgate it, right?
Yeah, the typical process is exactly that. There's some sort of event, some kind of nerdy thing going on. So far, it's been Ultimate Frisbee and then a gaming convention.
Yeah.
And then we show up, we set up like a goofy little tailgate, and then we meet people who are doing that thing. And that's actually kind of a cool experience, getting to know people who are out there for crazy reasons and having fun. Conversations.
Do you just cold call random people at the event, like just show up like, hey, do you want to talk, or do you actually like send out emails first?
Mix
or do you
of
just show
both.
up with no guests?
Yeah, definitely a mix, because we actually, the gaming convention, we emailed the like the info at kind of thing, and just asked them if we could show up and if set up, and can we have food in the hotel, and can we bring our cameras and all that. So we got a mixed response. Basically, here's your instructions, and they kind of said like, and who are you? What are I sending? So we send a link a little bit and let them know what we're doing. They were all excited about it, and we ended up talking to the owner about the whole process of getting the whole thing up and running. So he gave us like media badges and stuff.
Oh, that's official.
Yeah.
What's the views per podcast at this point? Like 8?
Man, I tell you what, we're at 5 times that. Easy.
40.
5 times 8, yes sir. Roughly 40 views.
Those are big. Per or total?
I mean, we're talking per.
Wow. That means almost 100 people have seen you bullshit.
More people have seen the little commercial for the Frisbees than have seen the actual 30-minute long presentations.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
So there's not a lot of expectations. That's the good part.
How many views do you have to get to monetize it?
Like 10,000 subscribers. No, yeah, I think it's 10,000.
It's got to be views, right? Because you don't need a ton of subscribers to monetize a single video, right?
I don't know, man. I think you need subscribers. But that's how little we know of what we're doing.
True, yeah.
We do not know the end
obvious.
game. We barely know what we're doing.
Yeah,
case by case.
Implicit
Video
from the
by
start.
video.
When you said, I'm going to do a podcast, it was obvious you had no idea what you were doing.
That's how I made my Instagram page, at Rich3819. Don't know what I'm doing out there.
When did you get to monetize that?
Oh, day one. Day one.
You don't have to have anybody on there to monetize it?
No, you just have to get people to give you money, I guess.
True.
I'm not a big Instagram user, but that whole thing started. That was actually a cool story if you want to get into it. But
sure,
it was.
I met some Instagram models at this bar in West Hollywood like a few weeks ago.
Maybe that's what we should be talking about, because you're in California. You're in the heart of it, L.A.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So
Vanity
I was at
Central.
a bar called what's it called? The Doheny. We went to the Doheny room, but it was not the Doheny room. It's like something else. And I'm there with my boy Hakan, who is in the program with me, and he's like 30. He's an ex-pro poker player.
Okay.
And we're at the bar just getting hammered watching the UFC game, and up like walks like this pack of like 8 20-something women and 2 dudes, and the dudes have like clipboards, right? And they've got like names of like the people, and they're like checking off names and shit. It's like official. It's like a roster, right? And I guess Hakan knew one of the chicks because he went to a home poker game, and she was serving drinks at the game, and she's like an Instagram model. And it was a bunch of them who were all going to be going out.
Okay.
And we sort of sat with them and got drinks.
Wow. At a poker game, he like hired them to serve drinks at poker?
His boy did. He was just playing.
Wow. I'm in the wrong game, man.
Yeah.
Did you play cards with him? Did you go out actually play some cards with him?
I've just like fucked around. I haven't played for any real money. I don't have real money.
Right. What's real money out there?
I can't go lose like $1,000. I have like $800.
Okay. Is that what he's playing with? $1,000?
Yeah, big. I would say at least, probably, yeah.
That doesn't sound too unreasonable.
It's more than I can deal with. But yeah, it was just wild that like they go out on like Saturday nights and they go to different bars and just try to meet people.
That's what the Instagram models do?
Yeah, they go out with like people that get them into clubs to like hang out with.
Like club promoters?
Yeah.
And then and is the purpose of going out to get like followers? They're just like campaigning to grow their
followers, meet people, hang out with like rich people.
Just networking in general.
Yeah, I didn't ask like, hey, is your end game, to fuck some rich dude? I have a little bit more tact than that. But I was thinking it.
Okay.
I was thinking it. I was like, what's the end game here? Like, you show up at a club and like meet some dude and lock that down? Is that the end game?
There was I saw this on Snapchat in the news. There was a teacher who came under fire because she was teaching her elementary kids how to bag a billionaire. Oh, the women. She was teaching how to
Awesome.
bag a billionaire so that they didn't have to work. It was viable. And then she like doubled down on it. There was some it like came out like, obviously you can't be teaching. No. This is an
No,
option. Women can do this. Like,
hey, this is an option. It's just not a good one. I mean, I guess it's good if you get it.
it's low probability.
Yeah, the expected value is low.
I've always kind of wondered about LA though. Like, so when I notice being in Boise, everything's pretty casual and outdoorsy. And if you go to a gas station, you're just gonna see people walking around and they're like dirty jeans and sweatpants and stuff. Even just going down to Salt Lake City, everyone's put together, kind of buttoned up. They look a little nicer, like everywhere you go. And in
Yes.
LA, I'm imagining everybody's just kind of a little bit more put together. Or is that not happening at all?
Yeah, I mean, it just depends where you are. Like, if you go out, people just look great at the bar. Like, I look like a fucking scrub. Like, people look great. They're super put together. And it depends what kind of bars you go to, too. Like, when I go out with a con, he grew up in Beverly Hills, and we go to, like, Beverly Hills and Westwood and West Hollywood and shit, which are, like, super ritzy. And everybody, like, looks great. And it's good looking and has nice clothes and orders, like, $14 cocktails. Like, it's nothing.
Okay.
But like LA is funny because you'll be at a super nice bar and you'll walk out and you'll look under like the street and there's just like 8 people in tents.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was a dude just out that window sleeping next to a dumpster right by my apartment.
Okay.
Like for 4 hours today.
Do you know his name?
No, I've never seen him before.
He's not a regular?
No, he's not a regular. But yeah, people are super put together. Everybody looks great. It just depends, obviously there's like so many different cultures that if you could go to a bar where you could find people that are like fucking 80s punk or whatever, you could find whatever kind of subculture you want.
Okay.
But if
Whatever subculture. You're really good specific. Are you on a dating app right now?
I was on Tinder, but I'm off it right now.
Okay. Well,
I'm not fucking with that. I probably should. It'd be way easier here than in Boise.
You were on it in LA or not?
No, I have not really got into it in LA.
I'm curious about that experience, but I guess we can't discuss. You don't
No,
have
I
any
don't
data.
have any. No, I don't have any answers for you, unfortunately.
Man, cool. I'm off as well.
Yeah, what prompted that?
Maybe we can have a good conversation about that. But I'm actually doing a thing right now where I'm trying to put my phone in my van, not even bring it into my office, and do like a phone jail kind of thing. I guess I don't know how really much I want to get into all the details, but it's like the phone just became this constant. I guess it's like straight up addicted. I was addicted to my phone.
Yeah.
I was addicted to Facebook and Instagram and swiping or messaging on Tinder and Snapchat, and then just text messages or rereading old text messages, and then I just couldn't like any notification. It was just like going off of my brain. So I talked to some people actually, and got the suggestion to completely put the phone away. I didn't really even until I said it out loud. I didn't realize like, oh yeah, it's definitely the phone. That's a big part of the problem. But yeah, Tinder is part of the issue because I think the psychology of what they do with it too is like sort of releasing profiles for you to like. There's just always like every single day there's something for you to like evaluate. So you keep coming back to the well. Right, they don't.
It's totally intentional.
Yeah, and I think they're throttling some things
apps
to kind of keep it from you. And certain times, certain things get like more profiles get released, or ones that have like a higher like ratio or something kind of come to you at certain times or close to the weekend. So it's like it's tricking you to keep coming back to the well. There's always something.
That's absolutely true.
To evaluate.
So the people that design these apps first study the psychology of addiction.
Yeah.
And they study deeply what people get addicted by, what draws attention, what holds attention, right? That's number one. So they design their apps in the way that certain things flash and the way that it looks and it feels in your phone, in your hand, etc. Its look, its feel is designed to get you addicted to it, essentially, to keep coming back. And then on top of that, like you talk about certain profiles appearing at certain times, they have a ton of data on you and on every user, right? About how when they're more likely to swipe yes, when they're likely to swipe no, and they probably have a likelihood of churn, right? So how likely you are to lose it or keep it. And if you look like you might be going to put Tinder away or delete it, they'll hit you with a bunch of profiles that are great.
I honestly believe that could be very well could be the case.
No, it is the case.
It sounds a little bit like backroom conspiracy stuff, but
no, I'm not. It's not a conspiracy at all. This is very common. They absolutely have a churn score for you, like your likelihood to leave.
Because I have felt it for sure. I'm like, you feel the motivation to keep and drop it. I would love for it to be a simple process of like, here's all the data available, go through it, evaluate it, yes, no, move on. But it's like, it has trained my brain. There's always something else to check. Check back in tomorrow morning. Check back in at noon. Check back in after work. Like
that's totally intentional.
So
they study psychology of how to get people addicted.
And besides my issues with the app, my issues with my own brain, it's training me to view people as a commodity or as points on a game.
Yeah.
So
well, for instance, we met with some people from Farmers Insurance, and this is like vaguely related. I'll get to my point, but they were designing a new insurance program for like millennials, like a policy targeted at renters, millennial renters.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they were designing the website, they have this data you can get, and every website has this, that shows like heat maps of where you hover your mouse.
Yeah. Where
you click, how long you click on something, how often to click, and everything is designed based on that data. So Tinder has how long you look at, for you, they got how long you look at every photo, you know what I mean, how long you have the app open, when you open it up, what time you open it up during the day.
Mm-hmm.
They, do you open it up a lot every morning, like right when you wake up? Like they probably have, what I assume they do is they look at people's behavior and they segment you into different groups saying like, okay, these are the people that are like the, whatever. We think we have 9 different types of consumers, We've got the people that only swipe when they're drunk on Friday night, mm-hmm. based on that behavior. We've got the people that check it all the time. We got people looking for relationships. We got people that just like never look at photos, just swipe all right or all, you know what I'm saying? And they've got everybody segmented. And that determines how the app behaves for you. And then secondly, they're going to determine how likely you are to leave and what might keep you. And they're going to do everything they can to keep you.
I almost feel better now about dropping it having this conversation.
Oh, every social media app will have something like that.
I've got 100%. Nothing wrong with using it. Let me say that especially. And
I don't give a shit.
Because I think when you've got, so what is the product of a dating app? It is the other users on the other end. That's the whole product they offer. And so to me, I care way less about the interface or its design or who messages who or whatever. It's just only about what's the largest bell curve of the other end users. Mm-hmm. And so whereas the largest crowd also has the largest reliable people. Like you don't have to filter it for me. I can filter through the whole thing. Like smart people use it, dumb people use it, attractive people use it, non-attractive people use it, but it's like more of everyone uses it. So let me I'll filter it out myself.
So like I guess that was my very utilitarian approach to whether or not to use it. It's like, what about the stigma or reputation or like I don't. None of that really factored in. It's just
there's nothing wrong with using it.
That's
I think
the one that
just be aware of
people should use.
How they're designed and what they do. Additionally, like Tinder's perspective, you're the product because they're advertising. It's an advertising platform. Anything that's free, it's an advertising platform.
Yeah.
So they're just trying to keep you looking at it so they can sell ad space. They're also getting a lot of information about you and what you like, and they're using that to target advertisements to you, so they can charge a higher price for their impressions. Because we just studied digital advertising in one of my classes too, and like for each impression, each time you look at something, certain impressions are worth.
Go on.
Tinder is saying the ad space that appears on your phone is being sold on an ad space exchange, where Tinder goes to essentially a brokerage and says, we have this much ad space. Here's our client demographic data. Right?
Yeah.
And then they analyze that, determine who should get what, and then sell that impression space on an open market to advertisers.
So impressions, etc., blah, blah, blah. We were losing all of our viewers, both viewers who were watching this probably on YouTube are asleep now. But I want to show you. So I decided a healthier use of my phone would be like a simple game. So I'm going to bring this in for you. So this is flip tricks. This is the evolution of my phone usage right now. Get this on the camera here. So you just load up, boom, you launch for a backflip, and then you try to land the flip. Pretty simple process.
Yeah.
Well, then that game is of course loaded with tons of ads, most of which I easily thwart. I'm like, okay, no big deal. But then I saw an ad for a game, and I was like,
that looks right up my alley. I gotta try that game. And so now this is merge plane, and it's just a bunch of planes going around in circles, making me money. And it's like you get this feeling in your head that you're developing some sort of business. Like, okay, if I invest in like these, I set these things out and they start earning money, and then what do I do with that money? I gotta reinvest it into my business to give me the ability to earn more money, right? And then as you invest things, all the prices rise, and so it's this treadmill of like earning, investing, and you never go anywhere. But the numbers on the planes change, the number in your account changes, and the number of like what you're earning changes. But it's all the exact same process. You're just seeing you're seeing numbers get bigger, and like you see progress. But it's like that next plane always takes just as long to get, and that previous plane or whatever. Like the point is that it just is a constant circle, and they got it figured out, man. So eventually I'll get tired of chasing my tail in that game, but because you look at it and go like, oh cool, like I can get the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and you just get a super simple concept. It's actually, I mean, it's fun. It's a fun little time waster. So next time I'm on a plane, I'll probably make a lot of progress. But if you just watch ads on that game, you'll probably be loaded. If all you get rewarded so heavily for just watching ads for the next game.
Oh, do you get rewards for watching ads in the game?
A big time, yeah.
Oh, for sure.
And I think the other important piece is that eventually, I don't know if there's a progression they see, but at one point the ads start becoming for games that are exact replicas of gambling. So slot machines and cards. So like playing Flip Trickster, they advertise other games. And then now when I play like silly games, like the playing game. Now when I download the playing game, they're advertising games that look like a freaking casino. And next thing you know, like they want you to be investing real money into a real gambling game. It's like, I think they know that this is the game that I downloaded from the other game, and so I'm 100%. It's not just, hey, let's hit them up for the next little silly thing. You know, all the ads are like, you could win real money, and they show some guy with a big check and stuff, and so they're coming at me hard. So next thing you know, I'm gonna be in a gutter in Atlantic City, just because I wanted to get off of Tinder. And I guess I'll be back on Tinder.
I decided to leave Tinder. I ended up gambling all my money. A bummer.
so that's a possibility.
Yeah, all that shit is targeted. Every ad you see online is targeted to you.
Oh yeah. I had an experience a couple of years ago. I searched Dumb and Dumber Halloween costumes, and I was looking for a source for that blue suit and the orange suit. Well, the result that came up, this was at work, and the result that came up was the lingerie version of that blue suit and that orange suit.
For sure.
And so here were these next thing you know, every website I would open just had an advertisement for a couple of ladies in orange and blue lingerie. It didn't matter if it was my bank or Facebook or anything, like Google, just like whatever I was doing would just throw these ads out there. And so I had to delete my like cache and stuff and cookies so that I could have a normal browsing experience without lingerie costumes popping up at work all the time.
Yeah, it's wild. It's really interesting stuff. So what I'm studying is build those algorithms to do that prediction.
Oh yeah? It's fascinating work.
Yeah, I'm taking a marketing class right now. I'm actually working with Josh at Voice of Growing.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. We just ran a survey.
The Josh you just referenced, everyone, is the Josh from our very own Free Candy co-host. We just, by the way, did you see the Halloween stuff, man?
I did.
The Free Candy cast really hit it hard downtown.
I saw that.
There's gonna be some pictures on this episode if this thing gets published for sure.
Were you at Fatty's?
We were across the street. We were at Prost.
Okay.
They had a Halloween costume contest. We rolled in like way heavy-handed and won
I
nothing.
thought you didn't win, which is garbage.
We won nothing. Not second place, not third, nothing. Just thanks for coming. It was wild.
That's trash.
Go ahead and give us a like if you think we should have won the costume contest.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That little pump look.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, you're working with Josh, doing algorithm stuff, targeting markets.
Yeah, just trying to understand what their customers want out of their beer, so they can better price it and better target it.
It's smart stuff. A while back, it was kind of a mockery, but I think there's a lot of value in it now. You could get a real college degree in memes, and it sounds like obviously it's a joke, but on the one hand, memes are actual pages that make real money. But on the other hand, there's a whole phenomenon that takes place with the attention span and the life cycle of something that directly impacts how you market to people nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
where did you get this degree in memes from?
I'll look it up and put it on the screen, I guess, for the viewers. But I forget. I mean, it's more than just one college. So you get it.
Accredited universities.
You googling it now?
100%.
Yeah, let me know what you find. So
it's some. Let's see. UC Berkeley announced a meme studies department.
A whole department. Well, but here's the thing about memes. Here's the thing that I think where the rubber meets the road.
Academia's dying, dude.
Well, that too, and especially at Berkeley. I think we were going to talk about the softness of your campus.
Absolutely.
But we can get to that. Let's not get to that tangent just yet. There's a point I want to make about the memes. So like in the good old days, you and I, we had things like Bad Luck Brian and Good Guy Greg and whatnot. Those memes had a lifespan, and like going back to the word like cool, that word gets coined in there, and it has a lifespan. The cycle of what's popular gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller now, to where memes or words like even the word lit is going to kind of go away, or turnt is going to kind of go away, or bay, it's all going to go away pretty quick. But then memes only last a couple of weeks. You see all the pages on something, and then it even has kind of its own evolution within that. So like moths were popular for like 2 weeks, and they kind of intersect with a couple different things, and they just move right along.
It's like pictures of
moths and lamps, there was, see, and it's such a small niche that if you don't see it, it just never even makes it mainstream.
I feel very old because I'm totally disconnected from all of this shit. I'd never followed it.
Okay, well, if any of our viewers are big into memes, they'll know what I mean. But here's where it meets, right? So like Stance Socks is a company that markets mainly to like pretty hip millennials and stuff, and they're out there in your area, somewhere around LA, I think. But their capsules are like tiny now. They'll have like a rapper's face or something about like a quick little collaboration with another fashion designer, a quick collaboration with a skater, or here's a little Misfits thing, and it's just like it's in, it's out, it's in, it's out, and they put it up on Instagram. Everything's advertised online, so they are literally capturing the meme mentality in real marketing. Is what I'm getting at. It's like it's here. It's like special and unique and funny and edgy, and then it's just gone, and nobody cares about it before or after, and you just move on. And I'm wearing Stance socks right now. There we go. Look at that.
Oh, you got them?
I love Stance socks. They're a great company, as far as I know. I don't know anything about them.
Hey, Stance, throw us some money, dude. Throw Free Candy some money. Throw us some socks.
Yeah, we need about $50 per view to make some real money out here.
Just don't send us any money. Just throw us some socks.
Throw us some socks. Jeff Curl. I actually listened to his appearance on Short
Hey,
story.
Jeff, I'm your USC brand ambassador. Send me some socks.
Okay, USC socks. So, and they're now the official sock of Major League Baseball, the NBA, the NFL, like all the big stuff, the PGA, all the big stuff.
Really?
So he's got a cool story, and I listened to his podcast on Short Story Long. It's the president's company is Jeff Curl, but I'm speaking from just all observation. This isn't anything anybody inside the company has said, but I think they're capturing meme mentality and culture, and they're bringing like the forefront of how to capture online sentiment in purchasing trends.
Yeah.
So something to look
Is
for.
that kind of similar to what Supreme did, or similar to how Supreme markets, where they just release?
Yeah, and they rely on it is similar. They rely on a lot of hype and stuff, and very limited production, and reseller markets and stuff to keep them going. But I don't know if I guess they're kind of going for the whole meme thing with like irony. You know, they made a brick, and they made brand. You know, they make weird branded stuff, so you kind of get the ironic sentiment to it.
Yeah, what I mean too is they just did like a lot of limited releases. Ooh, they're down in San Clemente. I don't really want to move down there.
Ooh, Stance? You're gonna go work for Stance?
I mean, I looked at it, but it's in Orange County.
They've got a sweet office. It's got like skate park and a gym inside,
Oh, I'm sure.
and
Yeah.
you can watch a whole video of like what they believe as a company. That's really neat. I wish that more companies had that kind of mentality in other places besides the coast. So,
Yeah. Like, are you saying Idaho, for instance?
for instance, that'd be right in the bullseye where I'm thinking.
Yeah. How are you taking CSDI construction into the meme era, Rich?
They're not going there, I don't think. Don't think so. Yeah, it's an interesting observation. We'll see who catches on, who stays with it, and because also like you also see that like online representation doesn't mean real world representation. Even in a hot topic right now is voting. Just because there's a strong sentiment online and a strong culture online doesn't mean that that's what people not on Instagram believe and purchase and speak and vote, etc. So the old-fashioned business model.
You're gonna go vote because you can be super pro voting online. You don't have to. You don't need to vote to do that.
Yeah, I'm just saying like it might seem like the whole world's moving to this quick meme culture purchasing pattern, but that's only the people who are on Instagram and who are into memes and everything. So the old-fashioned business model still very well may be the majority breadwinner is the point there.
Sure.
I don't know because I don't have that kind of data. You have the data. But yeah, let's talk about USC for a second. So.
Oh yeah, Christ, dude. So I ride my bike to campus, right? And I ride a road bike, and everybody on campus rides these cruisers that are slow as hell. And I get stuck behind them, and they're like on their phone like this, or there's these. They have these like electric skateboards.
Yeah.
When I was riding to class on Monday, it infuriated me. I was riding to class, and there's a dude on an electric skateboard going like 2 miles an hour, just on his phone like this, just rolling along. And when I kind of zip by him, he looks at me like I'm a fucking asshole because I got too close to him. It's like, what the hell? Like, it infuriates me.
So it's mainly the traffic pattern that's your problem.
There are multiple things about it. There are three big ones, right? One, there are clearly demarcated bike lanes on campus. No one respects them, right?
Okay.
People walking on their phones the wrong way, and then you kind of go by them, they look at you like, what are you doing? You're in the bike lane right now. Not only are you in the bike lane, but you're walking the opposite direction. That's one.
Yeah.
Two, everybody rides their bikes or walks super slowly, like I don't have somewhere to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Walk fast. Jesus.
Yeah. That one's self-explanatory. And three?
Just the whole, everyone is on their phone the entire time. So like I saw a dude crossed in front of me on his phone, didn't look up. He crossed across, so there's this main thing, Trousdale, that goes right through the center of campus. It's like the main walking path. He just walked right through it on his phone, didn't even look up. And you know, if I had more principle, I would have just plowed right into him. But it's not working. If I had more principles, I would have just KO'd him.
Well,
But
next
I don't
time.
need that. I don't need that static right now.
Yeah, I thought that maybe your thoughts on campus were going to be more cultural than just like physical logistics of getting
I haven't
around.
spent enough time on campus. Like, I'm taking fewer hours than an undergraduate student because the graduate hours are more intense. So I'm only on campus like 12 hours a week.
Okay.
Right? Versus like an undergrad would be like 15. And then I don't live on campus. Like, a lot of people in my program don't live on campus, so we won't necessarily meet up there. Like, I'm not really that plugged into the whole culture of the school.
Yeah.
Although, what I've picked up just from being there, like on a cultural note, is that I don't think the kids realize like how unbelievably luxurious USC's campus is. They've poured an obscene amount of money into it. It's super nice. It's really well maintained. Like, they just finished a thing called like the USC Village, which is a dorm, it's a gym, there's a Trader Joe's, a Target, multiple restaurants.
Oh, wow.
There's this awesome pavilion with like seating and a fountain and these like open air couches for you to sit at. There's a place where you can get like a facial and a massage on campus. You have to pay, obviously, but like,
what if you didn't though? That'd be pretty dope.
that would be incredible. But it's like, there's so many, like, every building has a coffee shop in it.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to get coffee, it's wherever you want to get. It's incredibly luxurious.
Is all of that?
Take it for granted.
I mean, is all of it being? It sounds like they're like over prepared for luxury needs, but I mean, if it's all being taken advantage of, then I guess.
Oh, it's a wealthy student body.
It's cool. I went to a tiny school, 450 people. We really didn't have.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, we had one little coffee shop, a cafeteria, like at the gym and stuff. Like there were no amenities.
Yeah.
So you just
USC is like 42,000 students.
which is not that big to have all that stuff.
No.
Like University of Texas is like 50,000, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I could be fact checked and be wrong there, but I've recruited on that campus before. It's like a little city. Doesn't sound nearly as nice as what you're describing, but
No, it's not luxurious. I've been on the campus and it's very nice, but it's not as like posh, I guess would be the word.
posh.
Yeah.
So are you changing? Are you becoming a posh man?
No.
Are you wearing pajamas right now?
I'm wearing a t-shirt and some athletic pants.
Okay.
I wouldn't call them pajamas.
Yeah, I think you're fine. I was thinking a lot about thoughts going into the next season, and this kind of is generic, trying to make it as generically applicable as possible rather than ultimate specific.
Yeah.
But been focusing a lot on poise and
Yeah, for sure.
decision making and stuff. So, you ever heard John Wooden?
John Wooden, of course.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't really know about him a whole lot until I was
He's
looking.
like the most famous college basketball coach of all time.
I was looking up some stuff, and he's got his pyramid of success. Have you seen his pyramid of greatness?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was. I mean, I didn't even put
Poise is like one of the central tenets.
Yeah, when I looked it up, I actually saw him speaking at a TED Talk, and then he mentioned his pyramid. He pulls it out of his pocket like he always carries one around laminated in his suit pocket, and he opens it up and starts talking about it. Like it wasn't his speech wasn't about the pyramid. I think he legitimately just carries it around everywhere.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, this is my main visual aid. And so the dude obviously has a lot to talk about for coaching and was interested in peeling off some things. And so it must have been where Ron Swanson did his whole pyramid of manhood or whatever. So I printed that off. I'm gonna keep it around and reference it once in a while. I think it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so like the third layer is condition, skill, and I honestly forget what that third one is at the third layer. But like conditioning and skill is kind of what we always focus on and practice.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking it up, and then the two above it are that's where poise comes in and confidence. So it's like once
team spirit, skill, condition.
There you go. The team spirit, skill, and condition. Like that's what everybody tends to focus on when it comes time to practice. Is like, all right, we got to condition, we got to get better at our skills. But transferring that to the next layer is like getting confident in your skill and getting a baseline of skill quality that you can stand on and move into that like, all right, good decision making. Because you can be really good at throwing.
Let me ask you a question, Rich.
Yeah.
let's say you're trying to lead a group of people to succeed at a goal, but they're not skilled enough at the current time to succeed at that goal.
Yeah.
Right? Secondly, they're not working outside of your organized time, so their skills are not improving outside of the time you're working together.
Purely hypothetical.
Pure hypothetical. It's not describing any. Nothing specific. This is just a situation. Right? What do you then do when you know that you have a significant skill gap and conditioning gap as well, but you know that people aren't going to be doing the outside work necessary to make that gap up?
So
I focus on preparedness, knowing that it's kind of irrelevant if you don't have that baseline skill. Or do you just try to drill the skill in, knowing that you're going to lose a level of sort of preparedness or like kind of that next level you're talking about, the poise,
because you know the fundamental,
the ability to perform, right? How do you weigh those two?
I would be interested in hearing what John Wooden believes the process is, because in one sense it seems intuitive that you would have to have the one layer to stand on and get to the next layer, right? And so you don't get competitive greatness without first having enthusiasm, the very bottom right corner, to even be there, right? And so like focusing like the high school team coming around, brand new everything, only 2 returning ladies in the entire team. So we just need to develop enthusiasm to show up.
For sure.
If we can't get that, there's no reason to focus on conditioning. So there's a whole process, I'm sure, to it. But when you're at the point of, okay, we have people who are here, and you've met some of these, but you're on this blend of, am I going to get conditioning? I guess you as a coach, I'll say 2 things. You as a coach need to realize what is the underlying value they lack to not want to get conditioning and skill. Do they lack enthusiasm? Do they lack loyalty? Do they lack friendship? And those are the things on the bottom of those lists. So do they not want to be here because they don't have any friends on this team? Do they not want to be here because they're not loyal to this? They have other interests or whatever. So I think there are things underneath on that graphic that you can ask, can I focus on these so that we can get to skill and conditioning? And then the second thing is that there's a gap between what people think they are as an athlete. So I think I'm here. Coach looks at you externally and says, you're actually here. Or even the other way, you might think that you're not so great, but coach sees that you're good. So if you said, where do you want to be? Here's your goal. And you ask that player without the coach, what do you need to do to get there? Well, they'll say, I need to get from here to here, so I need to go work on A, B, and C. But you as the external coach know, actually, you're here. I need you to work on A, B, C, D, and E, and F. Or before you even work on what you think you need to work on, I need you to work on this.
Yeah.
So it helps to have the external set of eyes, that person observing and keeping data, and with one perspective across all members of that team. So you don't have a moving scale, right? So that 4 different people give feedback to a person, and so there's this confusing gap on where I am between what I need to get to, and so there's a lot to unpack in there.
I agree with everything you said, but I don't think you answered my question.
Okay, yeah, let's go back to it. What is it?
I think I agree 100% with everything you said.
Yeah.
I don't think anything you said was wrong, but I also don't think it addressed my question.
Okay, let's do it again.
So you sort of hinted at it when you talked about, well, let's look at the very bottom of the pyramid first. What are they lacking that's like not having them work outside of practice? Because the issue that you face at a high level is that you need to work on strategy in practice.
Right.
And people need to work on their skills and conditioning outside of practice.
Mm-hmm.
They need to come to practice with the skills and be conditioned, and then you can build strategies and work on things like field awareness and touch. Like field awareness.
Decision making. The timing and the unique chemistry between a few players and stuff like that.
Yeah, like, hey, in this defensive set, you need to be looking for this look instead of saying, hey, your footwork needs to be this. Right?
Yeah.
So
it's an interesting point too.
Here's what I'm driving at.
Yeah.
When you know people aren't doing that first part, they're not building hypothetically. This is all hypothetical. By the way.
I think there's an important thing about to what level of expectation.
True. That's true. That's a good
Because
point.
your idea at the top of that pyramid,
hypothetically speaking,
the top of that pyramid is competitive greatness. So people have a different idea what competitive greatness means.
True.
And whatever they think that means is the amount of input they're giving or whatever they want that to be.
That's a very good point.
So they're not putting in the level that you expected of them, but keep going.
Yes, that's fair.
So you're not gonna be ready.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. I think if I were to hypothetically do things differently, I think initially, I think communication, it was hypothetically my biggest weakness as a leader. And not necessarily talking one-on-one, but like establishing like a set of goals. Because to make it more generalizable, when you think about successful teams in business or successful business organizations, one thing that they really see that's like a really noticeable through line through all of them is effective communication between management and the people working.
Sure.
And that works in a couple of ways. First, it's that there are clear goals that are set and there's a clear direction. And everyone understands what that is. And everyone is bought into that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's established first. And then,
of course,
once you're trying to achieve that goal, once you're in the process, once you know everyone is sort of in with you, once you're in the process, there's a very free-flowing communication between the management and the people working. So if something's not working, the people working aren't afraid to come up and they'll say, hey, this isn't working.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a collaborative, maybe the management goes back and says, oh, let's fix this. What do you think about this? Let's try it. Right? And there's a free flow of ideas as you're refining your process.
Yeah.
So I think that's when I talk about communication as a weakness, I think that would be it.
And not everybody has the ability to communicate clearly as well, to express the problem they see, whether it's in a business or not. Somebody might come to you as the boss and they say, my problem is that the people in the shift before me aren't taking care of their closing process or something, and you as the boss don't see that as the problem. You see something else as the problem.
You're not getting her early enough to open.
Whatever the case is like actually it's your time management, or like there's always going to be a little bit of a two-sided coin.
Yeah,
like
of course.
When you're perceiving lots of input, I guess communicating and feeling like you're heard is important, but it's not always just like gripes and complaints aren't always the driver behind successful change. But I definitely believe it has to come top down, has to be really fluid. If you don't know what management and leadership are doing, you don't feel like you're part of a team. You don't feel like you're making a difference.
Yeah, there's a lack of direction.
So I value communication coming to me more than my input going up.
Yeah, absolutely. What I was going to say too is that as the manager, if somebody comes to you with a complaint, you need to make them feel heard, but you also have to have the skill. You have to tell them you're wrong. But do it in a way that makes them feel heard. Like, I took what you said. You need to change what you're doing. Like, I understand what you're saying, but this is actually what needs to happen.
Mm-hmm.
That message has to be delivered in a way where the person doesn't just go, fuck you. You don't know shit.
I'm just thinking of all the ways I may have to edit our podcast.
Oh, am I not supposed to curse?
Maybe, I don't know. Probably you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah, we have no sponsors, dude. Who's gonna pull their sponsorship?
Speaking of censorship, I went out on my costumes, which we'll have displayed, and I get a text from my mom asking me.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
She asked me like, "Who are you supposed to be?" I'm like, "That's a mystery." You don't even know. And she kept asking, and she asked some random young person at the place where she got her oil changed, and he tells her it's Lil Pump, and so she searches for Lil Pump and lets me know. I was not very impressed with one of the songs I pulled up of his, but
what did she listen to?
I don't know. I'm not asking.
It's gotta be Gucci Gang.
Maybe.
I'm gonna Google Lil Pump and see what comes up.
I kind of think the guy sent her straight to the I Love It video.
Probably.
And then, she would recognize I'm wearing the same exact suit, so it must be it.
Yeah, when you Google Lil Pump songs, the first video is I Love It.
Yeah, it's gotta be, man.
Second is S Skid It.
So, I just told her it's still a mystery and to not look it up and not ask any more young people.
Yeah. Stop doing that, Mom.
Dude, if you can leave that screen on, it'll light your face better for the recording. Yeah.
This is better?
That looks better, yeah. Ooh, even better.
Oh, now we're talking, dude.
Got the good lighting.
So I've got the lights down because, oh, you can tell me. Like, is that glare too much? How's that?
I mean, that almost looks exactly the same, but whatever.
Really?
Yeah, I think things adjusted. Your camera may be adjusted for things. I don't know. I guess good. I guess just as good. So.
Oh, what the fuck? Who knows?
We'll just let it roll, man. We're probably gonna wrap things up somewhat soon. I think we've got about an hour of just shooting the breeze. We've covered everything from international business, coaching and leadership, to campus design.
These people can't understand. Oh, let me tell you one more thing that pisses me off about people around this campus.
Please do.
Oh, this is on the street too. This is not on the campus.
On the
This is
streets.
down the street. This is Hoover Street in Los Angeles.
Calling you out, Hoover. Calling you out, Hoover. This guy right here.
Very busy.
Instagram beef.
Yeah. I'm riding my bike down Hoover, and people come out of like the frat row and ride their bikes the wrong way down the bike lane on the street.
Okay.
I can't. It just drives me insane. So I ride really close to them, and I always take the inside. So I make them go out of the outside of the traffic, and I ride really close to them.
All right.
Cross the street and use the bike lane like a man.
It's a bold strategy. We'll see if it works out.
I mean, it makes them uncomfortable, as they should be. They need to be taught a lesson.
Yeah. Well, Taylor, I'm glad
You're not as
that.
fired up about this as I am, and I'm upset by that. Okay? You're trying to brush me. I see you saying, oh, okay. No, you need to be made upset by this.
I'm not gonna be. You can't make me too upset about this. It's a problem that's about 1,500 miles away, at least. I'm not gonna worry about it. Taylor, I've enjoyed having you on the show. We'll talk soon after I get this thing together and test it out for audio and whatnot. Always a joy to have you. We'll have you again. We'll have you back, and we'll have structure and some sort of idea of what we're gonna talk about next time. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for another successful episode. Pre-camp.